Buddy the dog, what are you doing, pal? Ready for today's adventure? Okay, sure. Yeah, so we'll get started right after this. All right, welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, Ross the Oliver Man, we've been through that before. Today's project is finding stuff to take along because we are going to go get another tractor to work on. So I need to take the ever popular handyman jack, or Bloomfield jack as some people told me it was called, and we also need to take probably like a vice grip or something. I mean, always come prepared, and that seems like a tool that will do everything. So yeah, maybe we'll just take the red pliers. They're super duper amazing. Plus there should be tools over there. We're going to Dad's to get something, so we'll come up with some plan. That's what I'm saying. If this doesn't go easy, looks like they're doing some service work on the old internet lines or something. I am not hooked up to the internet through that deal, but they're kind of I think they're trying to, through the power of suggestion, get me to do it, because up there they put a bundle of the wire at the end of my driveway hanging from the pole so that I could just, yeah, tell them hook me up one day, and all I got to do is run the wire down the driveway and there you go. But I don't know, I've held off on that deal because I think it's kind of expensive. I get my internet through the cell phone service, and that way I have it everywhere I go. So I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll break down and do that, but that is neither here nor there. What we're actually doing, even though some people don't like it when I just talk while I'm driving, they've made that very clear, but what we're doing is, over at Dad's is a WD Allis-Chalmers that I bought some years back, actually from Mama Bear's Homestead and More. Dirk owned the tractor for a good several years, I don't know, and then he took it apart and he was gonna fix it up or do something to it, I can't remember what, and it sat out in front of the dealer where I worked for a good while in pieces. And finally I told him, I said, what do you want for it? Because Dad always wanted a WD and I'd like to buy one. So that's what I did. I got it fixed up and I took it over there, and I think he used it a few times, and then it started running hot. So we need to see if it has a blown head gasket, or there's a crack in the head, or something as bad has happened, and that's what we're gonna do. So he was gonna load it up on the trailer for me, but because he borrowed the trailer to go get a culvert, which we'll probably have a video on whenever I dig his driveway open for that. But anyway, he called yesterday, he said, well, it won't fit on the trailer. And I said, well, you got to spin the wheels in. And he said, what? That's a lot of work. And I said, no, it's got spin out rims. All you got to do is quarter turn or half turn 4 bolts and, you know, spin it. But I also didn't think about the fact that I guess the tractor's not running at all, or he didn't try to start it. So my plan is, I'm gonna take the handyman jack and we're gonna lift it up and then spin the wheel in by hand after, of course, we get all the appropriate stuff loose, and it should be just fine, and then we can put it on the trailer. If I recall, I spun the rims in, took it over there, and then spun them out at his house when I dropped it off. So that's been 4 or 5 years ago now. So yeah, hopefully we can get this thing going so he can use it, because I have, I bought a, which I don't remember if that was ever on a video or not, but I bought a snap coupler bush hog, which he can use on that thing. And then he's wanting a grater blade, and those snap coupler grater blades were actually very well built, excellent, heavy duty. I think a lot of adjustment on them, you can do different angles and stuff. So we get the tractor going good again, he can be on the lookout for one of those, and he'll have something then. You know, I got a 3-bottom snap coupler plow that came with it, so he's got that, but and now a bush hog. But the snap coupler attachments are you know, that kind of limits you to what you can do. You can kind of put an adapter on for 3-point stuff, but it's actually easier. They make adapters where you bolt it to the implement and then it turns it into snap coupler, and then you can use it with the tractor, and that's the way to go instead of trying to cobble up a 3-point on the tractor itself, I think. But anyway, we're almost there, so we will bring you back in a second when we see what kind of sadness we get into. All right. Well, hello, new dog. He got a new dog not too long ago, and I'm trying to make friends with it because the other one hated my gut. So, yeah, here it is in all its glory. And if I recall, if I slid them in one position, and I might not even have to do both, we should be able to get it where it needs to be. But I could not remember what kind of locks it had. And this one's got bolt head instead of just square. Yeah, okay, dog. I don't know your name. Uh-oh. It's been a while. Okay. Well, we'll get a socket, I suppose. You got like 1/2-inch drive sockets and stuff? That's probably maybe about like a 3/4 or 11/16. Yeah, this is actually the good style, because you can use a socket wrench, where some of them have like square on the locks. Then it's harder to do. But we will take this out and move it to this hole, and then that will let us roll the wheel back. Since it doesn't run, we'll have to use the handyman jack and lift it up, manually roll it in, and then turn the locks back. But yeah, it has decent tires on it. That was one thing it had going for it when I got it. Not match pair, but really pretty good tires.
That bolt right there?
We got to move that. Yes, that one, and then to move that lock, which is on this one. Where's the lock? Oh, this one is weird. I didn't put the lock on the right side of the thing, so yeah, because we want to go that way. So let's try this wheel. Maybe this is the one I spun in when I hauled it. That would make sense.
I gotta find myself.
Or maybe the other one I had 2 locks, and this one I only had 1. That could be 2. I think that's what it is. No, I'm doing some complex mathematics here. So the stop is correct on this side because it's pushing against the stop if it would come loose, whereas this one, is that right too? I guess it is right. I guess it's because of the nature of the where it's at. Yeah, okay, I get it now.
Huh? Got one. What are you using?
That thing you gave me, but a wrench is leverage. It shouldn't be that tight because I had them all apart when I did that. Okay, come on. I'll be done by the time you're hold the brake for this wheel.
Hold the brake.
The brake for this wheel. I guess it really doesn't matter if it's perfect for what we're doing.
We're just following.
Do you have a tape measure? Is it under 76 inches now? Or do we have to do the other wheel?
Yes, I have a tape measure. Let me go get it.
Alright, so hopefully that makes sense. But now you just turn these back the other way to lock them, see? And it's got like a piece in there that it pushes against when you do that. And the first ones are easy, and then as you go they get tighter because it's wedging against everything. But if you want this to stay working, you really need to do it every so often, even if you don't change wheel widths for any reason. Just loosen them and spin it in and out a few times. Otherwise, yeah, you'll have issues. I might have had to spin them both in, I can't remember, but
I go about a foot.
I was thinking I did one. Yeah, so we probably do have to do both because it's outside to outside. What you got?
76.
So just barely?
Just barely.
Are you gonna try it or what?
I can back up here and try it.
I can't explain how little planning we put into this process, so yeah. Oh good, he's still got my ramps. Let's just leave it there.
Have you got a piece of steel at home about like that?
Oh, like what?
You got your hands on?
This?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We lost it the other day.
Sweet. No, that guy put it on the trailer somewhere. The coal guy? No, the culvert guy.
And
See where he put it. one I had on something else. And
You had on what?
it was on something else, and I put it on there because it didn't have a tire. It's not even the right size.
Oh, it isn't?
No, this is the size. That's like off the 1650, and it's supposed to be, I think it's supposed to be a 550/16, and that was a 650/16. It's one size too big. So, yeah, get them. But you want a 550/16 is the size. This is the one to match. It ain't gonna go nowhere.
No further than we're going.
No.
Okay. I'll move the tractor. You can follow me to make sure. Or is this ranch in here?
All that stuff is yours. It was laying in the tractor.
Big ranch is Daniel's, I think.
Well, it was in there. Yeah, it's leaking. You got a 9/16 in there or not? Well, we need to try it again. That's the same one as last time.
Yep, I noticed that last night.
I don't know what's the deal with this.
That's the first time I've seen it.
It started leaking again. That's why it was running rough too. Quit it, dog. Quit it, you dog. I don't know what your name is.
9/16.
Should be. A minute, start it up and we'll see if it fixes it. I don't know why this one.
We ran it out of diesel last night. When I was pumping it, Daniel was starting it. When he got it started, I seen him spraying. You ready?
Yeah. I think so. I don't know what the solution is next time, because those are copper and that should smush in there better.
I thought we got brand new ones.
I did. I put 2 ones in that were copper, and that should be easier to seal than the other ones. So
He has to give you a look.
he's been bothering me the whole time.
He just wants some love.
What's this one's name?
Your mom calls him Buster,
Buster, huh?
but I give him a rap name. I call him Pup Dog.
Pup Dog, huh?
That's his rapper name.
Okay. Well.
But Buster is what your mom calls him.
All right, come on. Well, that was relatively painless, I have to say. I was worried there for a second that those locks would not play nice, and we would have severe problems, but I took those loose when I got the tractor. I had those wheels totally apart because I think one rim was bad, if I remember right, and I got another rim off something else. That's why the 2 locks don't match each other. I've talked about that before. The holes are drilled different in rails and the different brands, but whatever. My point is, all that stuff was frozen. I took it totally apart, and that was the first thing that I ever tried a Vapo Rust on, and I was really impressed with how it came out, because it went in a ball of rust and it came out basically clean metal. The only thing is, when you get the Vapo Rust and pull it out of there, it's got like a scum on it or something you gotta wash off, and then it was fine. I cleaned them up a little more, you know, like prime them and paint them and put it all together. So I was thinking that it should work, but you never know. I mean, it's been 5, 6, 7 years probably by now. But that is kind of a handy feature if you, you know, don't always need the wheels. I set him out wider with the thinking that when he was using it, he wouldn't, you know, sling something into the fenders, or if they got into uneven terrain, it would be more stable, because I wasn't sure who all would drive it. But yeah, it hasn't really got to do much, so that's what we're going to try to remedy here. Tear into it and hopefully find out what its issue is, and hopefully it's limited to just the head and not the rest of it, because I know when I got it, I think it had trouble where it ran hot. I replaced the radiator and the water pump, and I had it. It was running good, but now it's back to its old ways again. And it's not the thermostat. We took that out here a while back, and I'm guessing either the head got cracked or head gasket failure, but we'll soon find out. You gonna ride it? And I gotta cut the ends off, and it can't be the other way or it doesn't work.
Huh?
It can't just be a piece of metal with holes in it. You gotta cut the, I figured that out using it. It's too hard to hook the pins up. So I gotta do this same thing.
Originally it was just two little flat.
Yeah, and they didn't last.
I know.
That's why I made it this way. I probably spent $1,000 in steel on this trailer changing it from what it was when it was new, because the whole thing was put together crappy underneath. Yeah, there's twice as much metal in it as there was when it was new. Like the front, I think the front had maybe one bar in the center, or no, it had two in the front, and then it didn't have any more till around the side. And now it's got like 7 or 8 across the front, which made the front of the trailer a lot stiffer. And on the, because before the trailer was, I mean, it was bent pretty bad.
Well,
so
why don't we leave the trailer here? I don't have my billfold with me.
Okay.
Just leave it here.
I'm sure they'll.
I wanted to haul some junk, but
Where do you go? Because I want to do that too.
Jackson Jennings line just off of 50 as you're going to North Vernon. Just when you get to the line, there's a big sign.
It says Franklin?
No, it's before that. I don't know if it's called Southern Indiana Recycling. I'll have to look it up. It's a great big place.
Do they take like everything, aluminum, copper, and all that too, or just
aluminum? They will take.
Because I got a lot of aluminum.
But you have to, like, if you got steel,
yeah,
you got to unload your steel.
Yeah, you got to do it in 2 different ways.
And then go weigh your aluminum, and then go in a shed, and they bale it.
The aluminum.
The aluminum they bale.
Like what kind of stuff did you take? Because there's different grades of aluminum.
I took cans.
Okay, yeah, I've got a bunch of cans, but I've got torn roofing and screen doors, and some of that metal I put up is actually aluminum, like the door edges and stuff.
Yeah.
Remnants.
I don't know about that.
But I got a lot of junk steel that blew off last year.
I don't know about your different...
How do they do with the steel? Do they help you get it off the trailer, or do you have to just go out there and start pitching?
There's a guy, he's got a big crane claw. He'll reach down and grab it off of here.
Pick it out in a big wad.
And take it out and put it, and he is so good, because the crane will move this away. And I saw him one day put it in a big cardboard box for the semi, and the cardboard box was folded over. He took that, he opened up the cardboard box, set the stuff down in there. That's how good he was.
I guess if you do it every day, you get good at it. Well, I don't know how much footage we're gonna get because the camera just locked up and shut off. So when I turned it back on, it said file repaired, but who knows? That's one of the struggles of doing this. Sometimes you could waste the whole day filming it and then it be for nothing, but we got it here. We'll get it pulled apart and figure out what we got to do. I mean, it will run, it's just the battery's dead and whatnot. The hand crank thing is broke off. I guess if I was motivated, I'd do that too, fix it just so that it had it, but it's probably never going to be hand cranked again. What we were talking about though, like, he went and got that culvert pipe for his driveway, and I guess he lost the other guy that was helping load. Took my little brace off here and laid it somewhere, and it vibrated off, I guess, on the way home, because he really didn't need the end gate to hold that culvert. We probably should have took it off before he came and got the trailer, but you never know what you get into. This comes off fairly simply, a couple pins. My poor end gate. I need to just rebuild that. I tried to fix the original and I've reinforced it several times, and it's just not, for what I do, it's not the thing. I should probably redesign the back of the trailer and make a couple actual tractor loading ramps, and then, you know, then you'd have the center hole anyway and you wouldn't have to take the ramps off ever. But I don't know. That's not really a tractor hauling trailer. It does a lot more than what it's asked to do, but we definitely got our money's worth out of it. Like I was telling him, I think way back in the day when Grandpa bought it, he paid $900, and I've paid like $1,100 in steel and stuff fixing it, and lights and wires and everything over the years. It just, it's handy. I don't know. Just a handy sized trailer. But anyway, tractor is our project. I'm hoping it's not too drastic, because I've been all through this too at one point. I mean, fixed up the charging system, new fuel system, all that. It's probably all gonna need cleaned out again. I mean, I had her going good. It just, we never got any farther. It doesn't have headlights. I might have to scrounge and see if I've got some around and we can fix that up. But yeah, it was another one of those where it didn't get a restoration as much as it got a restoration, because it was not in the greatest shape. It had some paint on it, but I gave it a coat of cheapo orange paint just to kind of preserve it so that it could be used. And but yeah, I mean, it doesn't have very many hours on it at all since then, so we'll figure out what we can do with it. And like I said, hopefully it'd be handy to have over there for something, like he can rake hay with it, and then, you know, sometimes I'm over there all at once at the pickup, and it'd be handy to have something that could pull a wagon out of the field or something, get to where I want to go, where I could get the truck to it. So that was my whole goal with this, is to have this running over there where it was something a guy could hop on and go if he had to. Not my favorite thing to run. If you're a big boy, these are kind of uncomfortable to ride because of the way that it is. I mean, you're hanging out back here over the back axle, way out behind the tractor, and then, I don't know, I just always feel like my knees are in my face when I'm driving one of these. But It is what it is. There was a ton of these out there in the day, so definitely another part of history saving. Great grandpa had one, and that's, I think, what made Dad want one, because when he was a kid, this is what his grandpa was farming with part of the time. Sweet corn picker. But anyway, I thought it'd be neat to have stuff like what they had back then, so I wanted one too, you know. I've got about everything that they would have had, other than a WC unstyled they had before this, and then he had an F12 on steel, which was the first tractor that Grandpa ever drove, and I wouldn't mind to find one of those, but it would be totally useless other than just sitting there to say I got this. But yeah, so tractors, you can't ever have enough, right? So we'll get this tuned up, and then there'll be several videos on that, I'm sure. The place doing the head, or the place that I'm going to take this head to get done, still has the head for that 1650 diesel that's in pieces. That's a project we need to start building the motor on, so I'm hoping that we can flip-flop and make that happen. But yeah, I think we may try to get this running so that we can drive it to where we're going to go instead of just towing it. But maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I need to just start ripping her apart. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. That helps out the channel, and it doesn't cost you anything. Leave a comment. Tell me that you liked it, or tell me that you hated it. Tell me I'm a moron. I really don't care, but anything that you say helps us out too. So thank you again, as always, for watching, and I will see you in the next one.